well out of sight of the Magisters.
This is nothing to do with the Paladins. Go and tell your Grandmaster that.
It's everything to do with the Paladins. You sully the Divine's name with this place.
The Divine would want the world free of Voidwilken.
Sorcerers are like the Divine's children. If you're harming them in here, we'll...
You'll do what? You're weak. Only we have the will to do what's necessary. Goodbye.
I demand entry! You can't hide what you're doing forever!
This is nothing to do with the Paladins. Go and tell your Grandmaster that.
It's everything to do with the Paladins. You sully the Divine's name with this place.
The Divine would want the world free of Voidwilken.
Sorcerers are like the Divine's children. If you're harming them in here, we'll...
You'll do what? You're weak. Only we have the will to do what's necessary. Goodbye.
I demand entry! You can't hide what you're doing forever!
This is nothing to do with the Paladins.
Right, it'll just go around and round and round. I'd like to talk to the Paladin, but don't see how I can possibly do that without fighting everyone. Possibly even the Paladin too. How much is this valued? It's okay in value, I suppose, but the weight versus value relationship is terrible, so we're not picking those up. We probably would have to fight at least 5-6 enemies if we stick our nose there.
Fasten tight.
Fasten tight. There's a door to the side. Well. Excuse me. Oh, Elven prisoner. Magisters, swords, men. So, actually sure what that is. That would be the third chest at this point. Unless I get a key to that, we'll just have to start bashing them open. How to turn papers into scrolls. Right, basically these guys are hostile to me. They're not sure where they are. Either go outside or go inside. Both will probably involve fighting. I am somewhat more interested in the green guy though. I did not expect any green here. Also, we probably teleport in there, loot the place, but might also find a key.
Sorcerers are like the Divine's children. If you're harming them here, we'll...
He did not turn hostile. Paladin Cork, level 4, is good physical defenses. We need more guys to be there though. Yeah, they can only attack from this opening though. Is everyone part of the fight already? Yes. That's sometimes not always. That's not always the case.
rescue them, and make sure Cork doesn't leave.
You're not trying to escape, are you?
I can probably play the Magister Captain Triple. That way, out of the fight for a second.
I'm ready.
Luckily, they seem to be focusing on Spiel. We need to take care of him. With tactical teleportation we can take care of the Rangers, so I'm not particularly worried about them. No matter what happens, the Paladin must survive. Too soon.
Greet the Reaper for me.
Their leader is gone. It's 5 on 5 fight. So if we play this at all carefully, I don't see how it would possibly screw things up. Ranger will try to evade him, so let him. Want magical defenses back on him if I can. Right. This might not be perfect for us, but there's no major problems either. We can keep harassing them to the point where they can't effectively attack more than once in a turn. Right, they'll really take a free attack, then we'll run after them. Keep pressuring them. Your target, kill the target. The swordsmen are fairly troublesome. You can probably teleport them around a little bit twice time. Thing is that a sensible thing to do? I think it is. Once the rangers are dead, then we can take on the 3 on the left.
Cornered.
A lot of attacks of opportunities here. Yep, she's going down quickly. You can... I don't know. You can drop them on him. They'll take a little bit of physical damage. Anything will kill her. Anything will kill her. I think I'll go help with this. He's gonna win it, no doubt about that, but that's not particularly the point. I need to make sure there's no complications there. It's the only thing that could possibly still go wrong for us. She moves, she dies. If she doesn't move, she dies. More or less she's gonna die no matter what happens. I'm gonna blind their asses. I'll join the party.
Prepare yourself.
Rat.
Right where I want you.
Thank you for the 3 kill. And they're splitting their attacks a little bit, so they're unlikely to achieve a goddamn thing.
Prepare yourself.
How in the hell did you manage to miss? Right, the fight is decided basically at this point. They're tough to take down, but they're doing the same problem that my fighter is doing, the battle mage. The shield means you are giving up a lot of damage, so it'll take time to kill them, but there's no way in hell they have the ability to kill me.
Hurts, doesn't it?
He moves, he dies, right? Might as well clear the environment a little bit.
By Lucian's sword! These Magisters are madmen! Are you alright, Lizard?
Assure him there's nothing to worry about, you're quite alright.
I'm glad to hear it. It was good to have you on my side. We showed those maniacs what's what, eh?
What is his relationship with the magistrates as paladins?
He pauses a moment to wipe a thick mixture of sweat and blood from his brow before continuing.
I still can't believe they had the gall to attack me. It's high treason to go after a paladin like that. We're Divine Order, gods damn it! Our superiors will be very interested to hear this.
Ask him who he intends to tell.
Our Grand Master, for one. Lord Ken would never stand for this kind of nonsense. The thing is, people on the mainland don't know what goes on here. Never would have believed it myself until I saw it with my own eyes. But we've stood about talking long enough. And this place is no roadside tavern. It's certain death if we keep lingering.
Ask him where he'll go.
First things first. I need to get the lay of the land inside Fort Joy. I was sent here to make an official report on what exactly goes on here. I don't intend to run away now. After that, though, and without the Magister's help, there's nowhere to go but the Hollow Marshes. They say they're haunted, but I don't believe in bogeymen. I was once told there's an old harbour on the far side of the island, and where there's a harbour, there may be a boat. I must be off, and so should you. Best of luck to you. You deserve better than this place.
We got a level up. Yes, yes we did. Did we get a civilian point? Yes we did. Yes we did. Large Divine Order key. More importantly, we can open up the chests we've been carrying around. Leather gloves, two-hander sword. Some sort of an essence. Where was this? Oh, that's the harbor, right. Do we need to repair our equipment? Only the weapon has durability. So, no. We don't. Looks like a dead end. No, no, that goes to the marshes. North would be there, right? Okay. Empty potion bottle? No. That always bothered me, the empty potion bottles, because it should be one of the most simplest things, plentiful things, and it's so goddamn rare. Because you can't just empty the contents of a potion, you have to use it, and if you use it, the potion bottle disappears at the same time. Also, I'm pretty sure these can be moved, so you could have just snuck in here and what, escaped the place without fighting anyone. There has to be a way to control the drawbridge. I want to see what's on the other side. Zaleskar. Level 8 trader. He has more armor than we have armor and health combined. Also, he's undead. Here's what I don't understand. The game offers you these alternative paths so you can avoid the fighting. But if you avoid the fighting, you're so far left behind in the levels eventually and in loot that you're just increasing your future headaches. You're not really making the same progress by avoiding the encounters, which makes avoiding these alternative passages somewhat irrelevant. Not entirely, because just because you use one of these paths doesn't mean you use every one of them. So it will allow you to maybe bypass a tough area, but if you would like to play as a sneaksman, I don't see how that's viable, really. Because sooner or later that is not going to be an option for you. And then your success in avoiding trouble beforehand will come and bite you in the ass. Is this usable? Yeah, it's just a source of water. As it should be. Did get a key. Not a key to this one though. Right. Let's start with you, because we know what we want. Thievery. Anything else? Skills are hard to take, because it depends on the skills we can buy or get through the spellbooks. Finesse and wits, probably. Have to be persuasion. Intellect and memory. You are what? Not persuasion, not any of this shit. Lore master, maybe? Yeah, that fits. What's your memory situation? Okay. Also, we have to keep in mind that we can switch these back and forth, so not everything has to fit here at that one time. Constitution and intelligence for now. Gotta be strength. Maybe more constitution. What about... I'm not taking memory yet. Extra hit points wouldn't exactly be a horrible thing. But we're all about damage at this point. And telekinesis. I'm not sure how much would you want. It does make certain things more convenient though. Right. Mage's Pants. Magical Spear and Animal Scales. Practice Sword. Raid. Poison Flask. Hands might be somewhat useful, I suppose. Magical Leather Gauntlets. Requires finesse. Telekinesis +1. But he can't use these unless he takes finesse. What is cleave damage? Plus 30% cleave damage. I haven't seen a cleave ability, and it's a spear, so you would assume it's a thrusting weapon anyway. So what exactly is cleave? Shrug. Do have another Hydrosophist, don't we? Yeah, take the rain. Might not be always useful, but extra ability to douse fire isn't exactly a bad thing, or create surfaces. Right, also this. You just pick the lock. I'll need to make more lockpicks soon. And actually, that reminds me. I don't think we have disarmed trap tools. We have 5 lockpicks. I can always make more from the nails. But I do need tools for picking, disarming traps. Pretty much every child seems to have at least one such tool. It's something I usually don't use. There's always other ways to deal with traps, but sometimes they trigger chain events, and the only way really to avoid that is just to disarm at least some of them. So that might be something preferable. Iron Maiden? Is it special Iron Maiden? No. Decaying Touch. Makeshift club. Long branch. Just moving them around a little bit. If there are secrets hidden? No. Right, there was something else here. The inner area. Actually, this seems to go to the same area. That's the main gate. There should be a fight there. But what is this? I suppose it doesn't matter in a way, because this is a faster way to get to the same place. Okay, 2 fighters, elven prisoner, 2 mages, and High Judge Orivan.
It's important you know why this must be done. We are of the
I like to get as close to the mages as possible.
Will be gone, but your sacrifice will mean the salvation of hundreds.
Guards! There's a prisoner roaming loose in here, and a bloody serpent at that.
I beg your pardon, Your Honor. He must have slipped his watchman. You! Who let you out of your cell? Come along. You'll be tried when you're called.
Say, that prisoner or not, you won't be spoken to like that by some common foot soldier.
You'll do as you're told, or I'll knock some teeth out of that highborn mouth. Now get over here!
Let's not be hasty, Magister. This ought to be an education for all of us.
I don't want to talk with the lizard, Red Prince. I have invested heavily in persuasion on my main character for a reason. If I can't actually initiate talks with him, it's all for nothing, and I won't accept that. Is that a vial? Skull with a candle, almost the same thing really. I don't want to go there though, because without a doubt there's gonna be a fight here. So this is the worst possible location. Their melee guys close to me tie me up, while their wizards, 3 probably, bombard from a high location. How would I...
Yes, your source will be gone, but your sacrifice will mean the salvation of hundreds, thousands. What's this? Guards, what is this prisoner doing here?
Your Honor, I beg your pardon. You! Who let you out of your cell? Come along. You'll be tried when you're called.
Declare that you sense the Magister has a tarnished spirit. He's inflicted great suffering on many.
The Magister flushes with indignation. He lays a hand upon his sword.
It's for their own good. It's for the good of us all. If you can't understand that...
Let's not be hasty, Magister. This ought to be an education for all of us. Tell me, sorcerer, what did you hope to gain by interrupting these proceedings?
Loot and experience, Your Honor.
Sister, do not stay here. You must run. Run!
Narrow your eyes and say you couldn't allow this travesty of justice to continue.
The only travesty is that anyone could be unwilling to sacrifice what must be sacrificed.
No, that's the travesty. You've whipped yourself into believing that it's a must-have sacrifice. That's why you justify everything you do. It doesn't matter how evil or wicked it is, because you must do it. And you're weak if you don't believe your own bullshit.
All that you give up, you give back to the realm. It's very simple, and very selfish to refuse.
Ask how this death camp benefits anyone but the Divine Order.
Source attracts Voidwoken. Voidwoken bring death. As long as Source is contained, the Voidwoken will remain at bay.
Yeah, but that doesn't explain the death camp. Because containment doesn't require them to be killed and turned into... What were they? The monks who are basically dead inside. You're going multiple steps further than what is required and needed.
The Divine is dead. Have you forgotten? We are on our own. There is only us and what we can do to protect each other.
Ask him how he intends to protect the realm from sorcerers if they're so dangerous.
Ah, a wonderful question. how to explain it. You see, with this wand, I can leech the source from within you. You'll no longer attract Voidwoken. Rivellon need no longer fear you. All this talk, why don't I just show you? Madam, please do hold still.
No! Animal! Beast! Slug! Please! No! Ugh!
Perfection.
Try to understand what you've just seen. It's as though the spark of life has left her, but here she stands.
I imagine it's quite hard for you to fathom. I don't suppose I'd look forward to this fate myself, but you must understand, if your kind are left well enough alone, the Voidwoken will destroy us. All of us.
Yeah, this logic just doesn't make sense. It's something you tell to justify what you're doing rather than something to solve the actual problem. Because you don't understand the problem itself. Source is not a new thing. Voidwoken attacking suddenly is.
This elf has sacrificed her source. Some might say the spark of life within her. But she has done so in the name of us all. She is a hero.
Yeah, but you could have also just killed her at this point. That's not enough. You want to use her. So it's so painfully clear to see the motivations are something completely different. Tell the judge he hasn't made a hero, but an abomination. No. Ask the judge to spare you the party line. This is nothing more than murder.
I would have loved for you to have seen our point, my friend. It would have made your transformation all the more rewarding for both of us. But the Divine Order doesn't need you to understand. It only needs you to accept. Now it's your turn to repent, my friend. I'm so glad you joined us here today. Even if you can't admit it to yourself, perhaps now you realize how crucial you are to our salvation.
How high of a level is level 4? Yeah, see, he might be dangerous, but I don't think that's actually the case. Right, we can easily go there, but what would be the point? Right. I need to tie down one of them. High Arch is something I can't do much about. He has too many armor defense points. I don't think I'll go with the chicken option this time. I'll go straight up killing. Oh, he has a two-handed weapon. I thought he would be a mage. I think he's a fighter. Right, I think we're gonna be okay as long as we don't have to deal with their shielded fighters at the same time with the judge and the two wizards. I can easily teleport him out of here too. It'll buy me time. But we sort of want to cut off his escape route. Okay, this is nice. If they try to use special abilities to reach us, this is fine. It'll make them unable to escape us. That's more or less everything they'll achieve. Would knock her down. Probably the safest option. At the same time, just knock her down. It'll take at least a couple of turns for their fighters to reach us. And the shielded guys can't deal damage.
Hurts, doesn't it?
We could teleport them away from here too still, but I don't think that's necessary anymore. Only thing they can do is bouncing shield attacks. For some reason I can't attack back, apparently. might be in a little bit of trouble here. Let the physical fighters deal with him.
You're not trying to escape, are you?
I don't want to go there, I need to be in a backstab position. Yeah, let's entertain this guy then.
Hurts, doesn't it?
Much I can do. Basic magical attacks. They just don't have the killing power.
I'll yield to none.
Right, they can use special abilities to delay the inevitable a little bit. That's it.
Hurts, doesn't it? I'm ready.
Nice little scuffle. Healing potion. Cash money. Hand bow. Small masterwork rune. How do these work? Potentially a new weapon. Certainly better. Critical or hit chance goes down, but the base damage goes up. How do runes work? I don't think I have any rune recipes. Huh. You don't have any items that can be enchanted right now. So plop in an item, or maybe select it from a list, then select the rune. We have a single empty bottle. We could make a single firestorm grenade, which it does probably less than 10 points of fire damage, and the area it ignites is minor. So, is it really worth to make those items so goddamn difficult to actually produce? I suppose it adds to the value of money though, because you have a much better reason to keep just buying stuff from the shops. You need a Scroll of Rebirth and a Ashen Idol of Rebirth to produce a Glowing Idol of Rebirth. Bit low on Idols of Rebirth at the moment. Contamination. We could make a Rain Scroll, 1, or 1 Searing Dagger Scroll. Yeah, I don't like this. The feathers would be useful at this point. Teleportation scrolls would be very useful. Yeah, it would at least allow you to get around the cooldown, spread the skill wider in desperate situations. But I don't like the need of a third component. I sort of understand it because scroll creation was very powerful in the first game. Like if you get real lucky, you get fight-ending spells from random scrolls. The problem with this is that if you don't know the recipes beforehand, you either miss out on very useful items or you haul everything the game throws your way with you. Both are bad options. So I feel like the fundamental system with recipes is not bad, but there needs to be some choices made with this. Like, are you going to show all the recipes or not? Because the recipes are useful, and you can use them even if you don't have the recipes. So they're not a limiting factor in creating the item itself. They're more or less... I feel like they're probably hiding it in the dubious hope that people would massively experiment on these things to try to find things out. But what sort of a madman would really experiment on these when they can just Google everything? I mean, I can understand experimenting a little. You have your basic item recipe, something, and you can guess what to add to something to create something similar, like with weapons. The problem is, these aren't that good. There's no point in experimenting with these. These are something you only use when you can't get the proper loot the normal way. So I'm not sure exactly what the perfect solution would be, but I'm sure this is not it. This is just inconvenient shit. And no one's gonna use it but a first time player. That's my major gripe about these things. If that's how things work, it's also always at least a sign that you should take another look at the system. Shadow Essence. Essences were something you could, generally speaking, add resistances to armor, shields, that sort of thing. Very, very useful. We have the telekinesis, but there's no room. The sin of source is inborn. We are all of us marked by this strange power, both creative and destructive. It is no wonder some are seduced to manipulate it. Still, there is a stark difference between that which is understandable and that which is permissible. The sin of source has no place within our realm. Time and again it has gone rancid within its hosts, been used to torture and kill, called beasts of unspeakable horror into our midst. It cannot continue. Fundamentally I don't disagree with that, but that's like... You could say that about every magic anywhere. maybe similar to like how you can say that science has gone too far type of things. Can create amazing things, but can also make horrible things. So would the solution be to remove all science from the world type of a thing? Because you can't take the just take the good and exclude the bad. You can try to minimize the bad, but it's gonna be there. I think I saw this on the outside. So this is another escape path. One-way street, probably. Not gonna test that. I'm more interested in how you got here in the first place, if you use the alternative route.
Swish. The Magisters certainly don't spare expenses, do they?
Judge Orivan's quarters. Encyclopedia of Flora. The ultimate guide to noxious bulbs. Noxious bulbs grow in the temperate regions of Rivellon. They thrive in open areas where their intricate root systems can freely grow. Commonly used as a means of security, noxious bulbs are well known for their vivid colors and their equally vivid defense mechanisms. Once they are fully grown, they appear in a multitude of variations. The effects of the bulbs roughly match their appearance as well as the elements to which the bulb is most susceptible. For instance, the red noxious fire bulb is susceptible to fire, and the yellow noxious earth bulb is susceptible to earthen elements. They are very sturdy flowers that are hard to destroy or uproot, but if one does manage to destroy them, they will hardly go down without a boom. Tales of the Seven Gods. The Seven Gods were still young when they decided that each of them should have their own race to guide through the eternal flow of time, and thus it happened that Ralik, the most powerful of all gods, became the patron of the humans. The burly Duna created the dwarves in his own likeness and even lived alongside them in the mountainous caverns. Ter Sendelius, the poet, went into the woods and created the elves. He blessed them with near immortality and wisdom. The reptile goddess Zorlstissa wished to command a proud warrior race, and thus she created the lizard people, fierce fighters from the wastelands. God Rogir, renowned for his brutality and violence, created the orcs and enslaved them for more than 300 years before he left Rivellon. Zanteza, the goddess of mirth and laughter, wanted an intelligent race, versed in the arts of magic around her. She created the imps, who were talented magicians and engineers. The goddess Amadia was an outsider, preferring to live in complete solitude. As the centuries passed, the six races spread over the continent. One day, Amadia's dalliance with a wizard resulted in the birth of several demigods. She granted her lover immortality and decided that she would act as the patron mother of the wizards. Although wizards are not considered as a separate race, they have always had their own goddess to pay tribute to. Claws of Deceit. Since I was a young girl, my mother always used the name of the lone wolves to strike fear into my heart. Bed by 8, don't be late. When hoots the owl, the wolves will prowl. Where other children from the upper parts of Arx played Magisters versus Black Ring, in our lowly district, we only played a game called Contract, each taking turn to be lone wolf hunting assassination targets. Little was I to know that years later I'd be plucked from those very streets by their leader, Roost Anlan himself. Oh, I had fallen on hard times then, the hardest. I was but a scullery girl in the chambers of Lord Linder Kem, forever trying to steer clear of his harridan wife Paulina. Well, I met the handsome Roost, oh so handsome, one night as I dutifully scurried home from market with the fresh tea leaves Lady Paulina had ordered. Pay no heed to any other rumor you may have heard. It was at the market I met him, and no mistake. He sidled up to me, all bright teeth and cheekbones. By the time I found out he was a lone wolf, it was too late. He already had the keys to Kem's mansion, all the good silverware, and my heart. Now let me tell you how it all happened. All of the following pages were ripped from the book by a violent hand. Why? If it's just a book of fiction, why bother? Cursed poison flask. What the hell is a cursed poison anyway? It is a poison flask combined with source orb. But what is a cursed poison flask? What is a source orb? It's a thing apparently. More restoration scrolls. Those are sort of worthless until at some point they're not. So you might never need them, but good to have if you really need to. Blood Drain. Requires Hydrosophist and Necromancer. That's actually perfect fit for Losev. Create blood surfaces, set bleeding on enemies, douse fire surfaces. Necromancy skill, high intelligence. Yeah. But why does this need? Okay, this could add. It's an attack weapon that douses things, and there's also an ability that allows you to heal through blood. So this could act as a healing agent. Yeah, I can see this being useful. Cautionary pamphlet. Sailors, scavengers, and fellow magisters, do not follow the light. There is no lighthouse in all of Driftwood, and no friendly fire by which to sail. Midnight flames are a ruse organized by dwarven filth to lure you into their piratical trap. Trust me, I know from whence I talk. Magister events. Madam, your techniques are proven most effective, a true marvel. Odd that the Source King had this technology so long ago, but managed to keep it quite secret. As to the technical matters, the monks do listen, but they are so listless and dull. They respond, but they do not engage. Would it not be possible, perhaps better, if they obeyed of their own accord? My mind races with the possibilities. Obedience through free will, a will shaped by the order itself. Then we might at last have the army the divine dreamed of. May his spirit rest in peace. Yours forever in service or revenge. I wonder if the first paragraph is here for a reason. Your techniques have proven... No. This odd that the Source King had this technology so long ago, but managed to keep it quite secret. Is it sort of there to hand wave the fact that we haven't seen this in the previous game or games? Or is it there to point to the fact that isn't it odd If he could do it, why didn't he? He must have had a reason why he didn't. A fine book? There was a great need then, unfathomable forces of darkness, forces so great the seven themselves could not hold them at bay, began to gather like storm clouds over our great realm, and so they made a decision. They would put their differences, their rivalries, their pride aside and join in a single avatar, one who could unite their power into a single almighty force of order and good. Lucian was chosen from among those summoned. Lucian the worthy, Lucian the holy, 7 times divine was he, and yet still he fell. Okay, we can probably move that. Yes, is there a point to it? Yes. There's a secret mushroom here. Thanks game. Well, it's better than nothing. At least that's what I keep saying to myself. They should be worth a decent amount of coin overall, though. Spare mace. Litter. Portrait of a woman. Some recipes. Resurrection scroll. More books. Cradleson's silly book of blanks. The blank arrays ask their mighty god, 1 of 7, for the power to fly, an exclamation. Shrieked the god, "How dare you? You are no better than another of the 7, silly folk. Sacrifice your finest object to me on day, or I shall smite thee with a plague of unclean beast." Yay, there was a poison flask in there and 23 gold. The lockpick is worth more. Okay, not bad at all though. We got a decent amount of loot, decent amount of gear, decent amount of knowledge. We could also go here and try to fight these guys, I guess. We'll definitely have the height advantage over them. Or just climb down. Either way, I think I'll leave things here. We're going to have to go back there to buy skills, sell crap. We're going to kill these guys while we're at it. Yeah, I need to take a proper look at my guys at that point. We're not gonna get level ups anytime soon, but on the skill front we are doing fairly poorly. For example, this son of a bitch doesn't even have the shield throw ability, and he's the only guy in the party that has a shield. We don't have basic spells. I mean, yeah, we can't take them all, but we would still like the option to have them. Sometimes maybe doing a little bit of extra magical damage is something you want to do. Just because we usually don't do it doesn't mean I wouldn't like the option. Also, I'm a necromancer with I think like 1 necromancer ability. I'd like at least the one. Ooh, the one that prevents healing. Would it work well with the? There was a necromancer ability that allows you to drain life from blood. I don't mean the talent, I mean a literal spell. Could you work that with the ability that causes heals to hurt you? Also, how would that work on an undead enemy? Would it take damage from the heal, or would it heal from the blood soaking? I'm saying it because it's a much better heal than the heal is. The restoration heal is an okay attack at this point. It probably always will remain like that if you use it in an offensive manner, but I'm pretty sure this would be better. Usually not, but if I can drain blood on the target, then cause the heal to do damage to it, or in the case of undead, maybe just cause him to suck up the blood. That could be a powerful attack spell. The most problem I see with that thinking is I don't actually know how that's gonna work, or is it gonna work. But more importantly, that's a lot of abilities you would need to sort of chain in order for it to work. So it would help really quite a bit if one person didn't have to do it all. That would mean someone else had to take the necromancy. Yeah, but it's at least something. I'm interested in it mainly because I don't really have a good way to do physical damage with her. She can do the one spell and that's pretty much it. So I need other ways to do physical damage, and as much as fun as these other spells are, they don't do physical damage. But this one might. I'm not sure if we need to get rid of magical armor or physical armor for it to stick though. I'm sure we'll get plenty of opportunities to test it out. The marshes had a lot of undead, so that's a good place to test how it works. But it might also be a good place, this fight, to test how it works. This doesn't look particularly bad, and I can always initiate the fight from here, get the advantage. But I would need to visit her to buy the actual spells. Yeah, we'll leave that for another time, but I definitely like to test it, and this seems like a perfect opportunity to do so. I don't have a lot of armor, so magic or physical, I can get rid of that quickly, and then just see what we can do with the blood.